Hey there, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So hey, I wanted to jump online and do a quick video. And the title of today's video is Network Marketing Closing Strategy. I'm going to be talking about two concepts, prospect, frame. I'm also going to be talking about the concept of value and educate. But before I get into the actual content, let me go ahead and provide you with some context. I believe that every network marketer, every business owner needs to have a marketing plan. And the only way to have a marketing plan is to have a marketing roadmap, which is why when I do anything from a marketing standpoint, I use a three-step process: reach, engage, and attract. Now, each core step has prerequisites, and today I'm going to be pulling from one of those specific prerequisites to go ahead and present this specific content to you today. And the prerequisite that I'm going to be pulling from is the conversion process. Now into the actual content, network marketing closing strategy. When I thought about this specific content, one of the things that came to mind is a proposal that I did some time ago. So now this proposal, when I was putting together this specific proposal, it was for a pretty large organization, to be honest with you. So I'm putting together this specific proposal, and I'm getting ready to go have a conversation with this specific organization. And I go in and I'm having a conversation with a specific organization. So one of the things they wanted to do is they wanted to go ahead and increase their closing rate. So in wanting to increase their closing rate, I wanted to kind of just understand what their specific process was. So their specific process is that they were using a whole lot of lead generation type companies, and those lead generation type companies were sending a lot of leads to their salespeople. They had a huge sales force. They had about 100 people on their sales team. Send leads to their specific salesperson, and the salesperson would reach out to the specific individuals that had expressed interest in a specific service. The individuals would come in and they would have conversations with those specific individuals, but the closing rate was not up to par. They felt as though, you know what, from a closing standpoint, they should be closing a lot more of those specific individuals that came in and spoke to the actual salespeople. So then I kind of started to just ask them some questions, and some of the questions I started to ask them was, okay, tell me a little bit about your company. More specifically, tell me a little bit about some of the accolades you've received, and or some of the times that you've been in the news for good reasons. And they started to kind of just list out a whole bunch of things that they had done, some things that they had done pretty well, and they were pretty much leaders in their specific industry. So from a price value standpoint, they were a leader. From a quality standpoint, they were a leader. From the success rate standpoint, they were a leader. So they had all of these different things whereby they were a leader. So then my next question for them was, okay, how are you using this information in terms of, all of these great things and all of these accolades that you've received? They said, well, from a sales standpoint, when the individuals come in and they're interacting and they're engaging with the salespeople definitely mention all of these specific things to the prospects. So they're saying that, you know what, that is one of the things that we ensure that our salespeople reiterate to the people that they're having the conversations with. So essentially, the thing that I told them is that, you know what, you saying it to the salespeople, saying it to the individuals when the individuals are there, that's not going to be as believable, because of course, if I'm having a conversation with the salesperson, of course the salesperson is going to tell me a whole bunch of great things about the company does this, the company does that. I said, you know what, the thing that you need to do is you need to affect the frame that the individuals arrive to before they get to the salesperson. And what I mean by that is that all of those wonderful things, all of those wonderful accolades that people have said about you, these different organizations have cited about you, you need to make sure that your leads, before the leads arrive to your specific location, before the leads arrive to engage with your salesperson, the leads can engage with those specific type of a content. Because if the leads kind of just read all of those great things about you prior to them physically coming in or engaging with the salesperson, is going to change the frame in which they arrive to the salesperson. Because if it changes the frame and they've had the opportunity to consume this specific content prior to even engaging with the salesperson, what's going to happen is that your closing rate is going to go up a lot higher. Because if the salesperson is the person that's saying it to them, it may not be as believable, or they may say, you know what, the salesperson has a motive. That's why the salesperson is telling me all of this. But if they're reading this stuff out there online before they arrive to your salesperson, it's going to pretty much affect the framework that they go through. It's going to affect the framework that they go through before they arrive to your actual location. So that's the thing that I told those specific individuals to do, to go ahead and increase the closing rate. And then I was kind of just thinking about this. I said, you know what, those specific individuals, I mean, that specific organization is a large organization. They had a lot of accolades, a lot of great things about them, so on and so forth. I said, you know what, how would this apply to a much smaller one person type of organization? If you're an entrepreneur, if you're like a one person show and you don't have all of these great things, you don't have all of these different accolades, how can we apply something very similar to that. And the thing that essentially that I came up with when I shared this information with a group of individuals is that when I think about something called a product launch. So you know, one of the things that it may not happen as much in the internet marketing world, but one of the things that used to happen in the internet marketing world is something called a product launch. And with a product launch, what would happen is that you know, the individual that is selling the product would lead with an actual video. They would lead with a value-based video, and in a value-based video, what they would do is they would be teaching content to their target audience. So for instance, if the product launch was related to a network marketing type of a product, the person would go online and they would do a video similar to this. If they wanted to kind of just you know, teach something to that specific audience, they would do a video similar to this and say, hey, I'm going to show you how to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to show you presentation tips as it relates to network marketing. So they would do a content like that. The content will be value driven, it will be education driven, and they will say, you know what, this is video 1 of 3. If you want access to video number 2, go ahead and provide your email, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you video number 2 in the following day. So day number 2, they would do a second video, and that second video would provide value and it would educate their specific target market, and it would say, you know what, the second video is I'm going to show you how to get free leads. So that way you don't have to pay for leads. So they would go ahead and teach, and it will provide value in video number 2. And then they would say, you know what, this is video 2 of video 3. Video 3, they would do another video. And then in the third video, they would provide additional content to pretty much help their target audience to provide value and to educate them. And then video number 3, they would say, you know what, hey, I provided you with a lot of great content, but this is just a fraction of what my specific product offer, a fraction of what my service offer. And then they would send them a final video. And in video number 4, what they would do is in video number 4 is they would offer them a product or a specific service. So in that specific instance, you don't necessarily have to be well known. You don't have to send someone through a framework where it talks about all of your accolades, so on and so forth. All you do in that specific instance is you lead with education-based content. You provide value in a few videos, and then after that, you'll have a specific call to action at the end. And what that's going to do is that from a closing standpoint, is going to help to increase the closing rate. The other thing that you can do as well is that a lot of times when you're selling a specific theme, your theme pretty much causes other issues. So for example, if I was to sell someone you know, a website building service, I say, hey, you know, I'm going to help you to build a specific website. After the individual builds a website and have a website up and running, the other issue they would have from a follow-up issue standpoint is they would need to learn how to drive traffic. So although my main product or my core product is about website building, I would go ahead and provide them with additional information so that way they can solve the follow-up issue, and the follow-up issue being traffic. So I would teach them how to build a website because it's my core product. And the other thing that I would do is I'll go ahead and show them how to generate traffic. So that's the other thing that you can do. You can go ahead and solve the current issue and then a follow-up issue. Another example of this is that if you have a branding class, you're teaching someone how to brand themselves online, the other issue that the person might have after they learn how to brand themselves is they may have some issues with implementation. So you might have some mindset training inside of that as well. So once you do all of those different things, your closing rate from a strategy standpoint, your closing rate will definitely be a lot higher. One of the things that I'm doing is that later this week is that I'm hosting a free web class. Now the web class is specific to network marketing, and we have 2 goals. Goal number 1 is we're going to show you how to generate lead online. And then goal number 2 is going to show you how to take that lead and then turn that lead into a customer. There's going to be a link somewhere in this page. You can go ahead and use that link to register for the free web class. The other thing that I'm working on is that if you're not in network marketing, but you are a business owner and you need some marketing help, is that I can become your marketing guy. And if we decide that I'm the right fit, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this specific framework and help you implement this specific framework inside of your business. There's going to be a separate link somewhere in this page whereby you can go ahead and request additional information, at which point I'll go ahead and send you the information and we'll talk about what the next steps are. Hey, that is my time. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon.